You know, somebody gave me this fryer. They said there was a problem. It wasn't working right. I just fixed it. I ended up having it on for about 15 minutes, and I just went ahead and turned it off and unplugged it. It's still bubbling. But anyway, when I first got it, the first thing I done was I tested the cord. I did a continuity test on this cord. Basically took my multimeter and put a probe on one end of this cord, on one of these ends here, and then put the other probe on one of these other ends, and check the continuity. There was continuity there, so there's no break in the line. So the cord was good. So the next step was doing some checks on this mechanism here. So I did a few checks and found out, as I did my continuity test, I decided to do a test on the connection where the cord connects to the end of here, and there was no continuity. So basically there was a break in some wires somewhere, and I end up having to take this back off. There's some screws here. So when you take all those screws out, I took them out. I did an analysis on the wiring, and as I followed the wires, well, as I opened it up, I found out that there's a small plastic piece in there. This orange piece right here. Well, on the back of that piece, it was melted, and the wire was disconnected from one of the probes on this piece in the back. Well, I was trying to get it back on there, and it ended up making things worse. So what I decided to do is I decided to bypass this piece, this little button here. I ended up having to bypass it. I just ran a wire. I put another connector on the end of the wire and just simply connected it to the switch that's located by this power button here. So it's a direct connection. But what I found out as I did some more analysis is I found out that I was trying to find out, well, what does this little piece here do? What is the function of it? Well, what I found out is that as you put this piece inside of here, well, I found out there's a spring, a small spring inside of there that what happens is when you put it in there, it basically makes a connection. That way it turns on. I think this is a safety mechanism. It's a safety switch. In other words, if this falls out of here, if this piece falls out of here, it shuts off all the power. It turns off. That's what this is for. That's what this is for. Well, I end up just, bypassing it. So what this means is that if I'm using this and for any reason it falls over and the cord is still connected, the magnetic cord is still connected to the back, it's going to stay on. But look at here, if you got any kind of common sense, this thing should never be in a position where it would fall over. So that fixed it. That basically fixed it. Because I think what was happening was this had malfunctioned. The wire was disconnected and it was just malfunctioning in the back. It was sort of melted back there a little bit. Anyway, it looked like it malfunctioned. So if that doesn't work, then the whole unit, it really doesn't work. The power, it'll come on and then it'll probably just shut off. It'll just shut off. So when I done that, I bypassed this little button here, right here. This spring loaded. There's a spring in the back of this plastic piece, and as you insert this into this in the slot, it presses this button. It presses in and it makes the electrical connection. So basically, when this is out, no power can come. No power is inside here. So that was my fix.